This video is one of a series numbered 1 to 8, which cover the basic concepts of the primary mathematics curriculum. There are two sets of supporting materials. One is the Maths MESHGuide, a summary of research knowledge and pedagogical knowledge. The second is the Numeracy for All booklet, showing in detail how to make and use the resources mentioned here.
Okay, continuing with bottle tops. You can use bottle tops and write the operations on them. So just clearly mark, so here for instance the division sign, and it's worth putting a little mark at the bottom to show where the bottom is, because otherwise it's very easy to confuse an addition sign with a multiplication sign with it being drawn on a circle. So if you put a little mark at the bottom, and then the children won't get confused because they'll also always have the bottle top the right way out. Okay, so simple calculations can be made with using our jar bottle tops again. So say we're starting with 17 and we can build up a calculation. So 17 plus, let's do easy, we've got a plus 2. Okay, and then they'll use the equal sign. Work out 17 plus 2 is 19. Okay, so that's a very simple level. The other way that you can do it is that you can not put any symbols in and give them the three numbers and say, well, what do we have to do to make 19? So the children then have to put in the symbols. So you give them the numbers and then they will put in the symbols. You can use it with missing numbers. So we'll say 17, but we won't give them that, equals 19. So they've now got to work out, well, what is the missing number here? What goes in here? Okay, you can also maybe do more than one number, so 16, okay, and I'm going to add something, and then I'm going to subtract something, and I'm going to let's make 12. So they've now got to work out what are the two missing here numbers here. Yeah, so what can go in here and what can go in here. So I'm going to add, so they've got quite an open question here, because if they say, right, I'm going to, at 16, I'm going to add 1, let's make it easy. So now thinking 16 plus 1 is going to make 17. And then I'm going to subtract something to get to 12. So if I'm on 17, what do I now subtract to get to 12? So you're really making them think here, yeah? And obviously there's a choice of answers. There's not just one correct answer here, because it may be that I choose to add 2. So 16 plus 2 is going to give me 18. I've now got to get from 18 down to 12. So what am I going to subtract from 18 to get to 12? Well, I'm going to need 6. So there's lots of possibilities here, so you're really making the children think. Using multiplication and division. So I've got to think a little bit more carefully here to make sure that you give them numbers that are divisible. So you can start with 12 and say, I want to divide and I want to get to 6. So again, filling in the missing numbers here. Okay, so 12 divided by 2 is going to give me 6. You can also show them the link between division and multiplication here. So if we're going to turn it around, you can show them that 6, so using the same numbers, 6 multiplied by 2, made that mistake, that's why this little mark is important, 6 times 2 is 12. So they could use the link between multiplication and division, or even the link between addition and subtraction. So to give you an example of that, if we say 16 and we're going to add 4 equals 20. Now can we use these numbers to write a subtraction sentence? So we're going to start with the 20, okay, and instead of addition I'm going to use subtraction. So 20, and I've got to use these two numbers, so I could do 20 subtract 16 makes 4, or we could also do 20 subtract 4 makes 16. Okay, going to look at an activity using this board now. and it shows how the children can link addition and subtraction and multiplication and division. Okay, so first of all, you can choose an operation. So we'll say, right, we're going to link multiplication. So we're going to give them an example of a multiplication. So we can make it fairly simple. You can use single digits. So we're going to do 9 times 2, and then they use the bottle tops to build up the answer. So 9 times 2, and you can use 2 bottle tops to make a 2-digit number. So 9 times 2 is 18. And what we can do is to show the link between multiplication and division. So if 9 times 2 makes 18, then also 2 times 9 makes 18, or 18 divided by 2 will give me 9, and 18 divided by 9 will give me 2. So just from building this up on the card here, they can then either have another card, or they can write on the chalkboards, or they can write in their notebooks or on paper. And what you can do is you can build up your number stories here. So we have 9 times 2 will make 18. Okay, we can start with 18 and divide by 2 and leave you with 9. Okay, we can do 2 times 9, making 18. We have enough numbers. Okay, and then the final one then obviously will be taking 18. We've done 18 divided by 2 equals 9, so 18 divided by 9 makes 2. Okay, one slight problem with this is obviously you need to have a lot of bottle top numbers to make them. Alright, so what you can actually do is you can just use the one set of bottle tops and just reuse them. So you can ask the children, okay, we've made 9 times 2 and we've made 18 here. Now use the same bottle tops and rearrange them to make another multiplication. So instead of 9 times 2, we're going to do 2 times 9, alright, and make 18. Make the division, so we start with a big number, so we're going to start with 18, divide by 2, which is 9. Now make another one, so start with 18, divide by 9 and make 2. So if you don't need to make an absolute stack of bottle tops for each group of the children. Coming back to the board then, so this is very versatile, this board, because that was with multiplication and division. You can do the same thing with subtraction and addition. You can use big numbers, you can make the numbers as big as you like. Alright, so we're going to make 510, okay, and I'm going to add 510, and I'm going to add, let's add 86. Okay, so we've now got to work out the answer. So we're going to add 6 and 0, so we're going to have 6 here. I've got 8 tens and 1 10, so I need 9, and then 5. So I've got my answer here, and then transferring that to your number stories. With the bigger numbers, you will actually need this to be a little bit bigger to have room for it, but making up the number stories, so I can take 510 plus 86 is going to make my 596, or I can do it the other way. 86 plus this will make this, so this plus this equals this, yeah? And then turning it around, so we're going to have this subtract, so if I do 596 subtract 86, that will equal this, or likewise this subtract this will equal this. Yeah, so you can build it up with bottle tops. And it's just a nice manipulative way for the children to work, and then they can, as I say, they can write them on the chalkboards. More detail about the resources in this video and others can be found in this booklet, Numeracy for All, Resources for Teaching Mathematics, a guide for teachers and trainers on how to make and use low-cost or no-cost teaching and learning aids to encourage active and playful learning for maths in the classroom. Okay, let's go and teach some maths.
These videos are from a partnership between VSO International and the MESH Initiative. Both organisations have a commitment to share knowledge freely around the world for the benefit of teachers and learners.